Hi everybody, Wendylove here today, and I just wanted to share a little story with you guys. When I was younger growing up, my parents didn't have a lot of money, so my dad worked full-time. He worked all the time, actually, to provide and give us everything we needed. So it was common for me to have things handed down to me. My parents actually handed me down my brother's bike. I remember this like it was yesterday. It was a navy blue bike and it had scratches all over it. My brother used it all the time. It wasn't in the best condition. I was just happy to have a bike that I was able to use. That's all I cared about. Anyway, so one morning I woke up. I was 8 years old. It was like any regular morning, but my parents were a little bit more happy. And it was before my dad was going into work. I didn't even have time to eat breakfast. My parents were bugging me to go outside. So when I went outside with them, in the driveway, there was this cute little pink bike with a huge red bow on it. And I screamed and I freaked out. I remember how happy I was. Now this was a big deal, right? I didn't get everything new all the time. So being able to have this bike and, being able to show my friends was a big deal to me. It really was. It was one of those gloomy, kind of rainy days, I remember, but I didn't care. I stayed outside all day driving that bike, and I was just a happy little kitty cat kid. I was just happy. So that's how I spent my day. The next morning I woke up. I was eating breakfast. I remember I had a little tiny grapefruit, and I was probably eating Captain Crunch cereal because Captain Crunch cereal is delicious. No, I really don't know what type of cereal I was having, but it's still good. And I remember I had looked out the window. There was this older man on my bike driving out of the driveway. It was one of those moments where you're kind of in disbelief. You don't believe what you're seeing. So I just stared for a second. And then I screamed, I remember. And my dad got out of his chair and was concerned, what's going on? And I pointed out the window and my dad saw this guy driving my new bike out of the driveway. At that moment, I started to cry, just like any 8-year-old kid, right? Someone takes something from you, you freak out. My dad rushed out the door, and by this time, the guy's probably at the end of the street. So my mom and I followed my dad outside. My dad told us to stay in the driveway, and he got into his truck. He drove down the street. You could clearly see this guy driving my bike, and my dad drove up with his truck to this guy. I remember he stopped the truck, he got out, and he wrestled this guy off the bike like he was Sylvester Stallone. My face was literally in shock. Anyway, he grabbed the guy, threw him off the bike. I remember he grabbed my bike, put him back in the truck, and just turned around and drove back. He didn't call the police, he didn't do anything else. He was honestly my hero that day. So I hope you enjoyed this little story I wanted to tell you, but man, what kind of guy steals a little kid's bike? What kind of person is that? I wonder what kind of karma he has. Anyway guys, so I'm gonna go for now. I'll be talking to you soon. Peace out. Later!